Well, if you had a crystal ball and you looked to the very end of President Trump's second term in office, where would you expect to see this economy?
I think that we're already right on the cusp of having the greatest economy that the U.S. has ever seen.
President Trump last week gave his economy a grade of A++++. What grade would you give the economy today?
A+++.
This is so ridiculous and so dumb, I don't even know where to begin. But anyway, according to Trump's team, we're living in the greatest economy the US has ever seen. It's just so embarrassing. I mean, they're so focused on saying whatever they have to do to keep Trump happy that they're ignoring how literally everyone in America actually feels about the economy. Like, I mean, they're laughing at you. JD Vance gives his A++++ and then laughs because he knows he's lying. It's all just a big joke to him because he's not the one going to the grocery store and seeing the higher prices. Forget his grade. How would you grade the economy? Drop it in the comments right now because I'm guessing your answers are way different than what Vance is trying to sell. Vance is the vice president and he's speaking in Pennsylvania, telling people the economy deserves an A+++. Isn't this the party that constantly whines about participation trophies? And they're giving themselves an A+++ for what? Exactly? News Nation went to Pennsylvania and asked actual Pennsylvania citizens how they feel about the economy. And here's what they had to say.
I feel like everything is going up and pay rates are not going up. Like right now, affordability, I work 2 jobs. I'm working FedEx and I'm working on the side for UPS, and it's still not enough for my rent.
I would say probably about the same. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's been much changes, but these things take a long time. Like it's not, much change within a matter of days.
I go to the stores, I go to all these grocery stores, and everything is like higher than expected.
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. Everyone is talking about their economic troubles, struggling to pay bills, can't afford groceries, worried about losing their jobs, the kind of real, tangible problems that keep the rest of us up at night, while JD Vance laughs about the economy. Republicans are in charge of the presidency, the House, and the Senate. What is the Republican game plan for dealing with all of this? Do they have any plan to help? Any real ideas to bring down prices? No, their only idea is to tell you that everything is fine. The economy is an A+++. The greatest economy ever. And shockingly, their lies aren't working.
New numbers out this morning offer a new snapshot of how Americans are really feeling about the direction of the country at the moment. And the data cuts across party lines and seems to also cut across the map. CNN's Harry Anton is running the numbers all over the map on this for you. Harry, what'd you find?
I like going traveling, Cape Paul.
We all do.
We all do. Look, what it was, the NBC News poll came out this weekend, and I saw this wrong track number, and it just kind of jumped out to me because it was 66%. And one of the things I always like to look at is, Donald Trump historically has done better than his polling suggested, but this right track, wrong track numbers have generally tracked with what actually the country is feeling. We see 66% there, more than 3 in 5 Americans who say the country's on the wrong track. Ipsos, 61%. MU, Marquette University Law School, 64%. Gallup, 74% of Americans say they are dissatisfied with the state of the nation. You see it on your screen right there. And all of these numbers that I could find were the highest percentage who said that the country was on the wrong track since Donald Trump took office.
So the Trump administration can lie as much as they want, but these polling numbers don't lie. 2 in 3 Americans say the country is on the wrong track, and 3 in 4 Americans are dissatisfied with the state of the nation. Across party lines, across the country, from red states to blue states, rural areas to cities, everybody is feeling it. The economy is getting worse, prices are going up, people are finding it harder and harder to get by. So if you feel like it's getting harder and harder to make ends meet, it's not just you. You're not imagining it, and you're not being dramatic. Everyone agrees, except for Trump and his rich billionaire friends and his administration filled with people who will say literally whatever they need to keep him happy. The economy is continuing to get worse, and even Fox News is admitting it now.
4.6 is probably the number moving the needle right now.
This is the highest unemployment since September of 2021. Carol, you've got the October numbers as well.
We got October non-farm payrolls data. We saw a loss of 105,000 jobs non-farm for the month of October.
The unemployment rate is the highest it's been since 2021. During COVID, unemployment is climbing, making it even harder for people to find jobs. College grads and young people can't find work. People who have been employed for years are suddenly worried about getting laid off because there's no jobs out there. I mean, I will ask all of you, how many of you actually feel truly secure in your job? How many of you are job hunting right now and can't find anything? So, How is the Trump administration going to spin this story? How are they going to explain away unbelievably high unemployment numbers while still claiming that we have the greatest economy ever?
President Trump is focused on putting Americans back to work. And if you look at the job gains historically throughout this past year, what's most remarkable about the labor market right now is that President Trump is putting American citizens back into the labor force. And we know under the previous administration and Joe Biden that 100% of the jobs gained were for foreign-born workers. These were for people who flooded our country and took the jobs of hardworking Americans.
So once again, you see the Trump administration lying to your face because they think you're stupid. First, she lies about the reality of what's happening. Trump is putting American citizens back into the labor force. How does that make any sense? How can she possibly justify that when unemployment is the highest it's been in 4 years? And then she goes on to say every Trump administration official's favorite excuse: Biden. Biden has been out of office for a full year. Trump has been president for 12 months with a Republican House and a Republican Senate. What could they possibly be bringing Biden up for after 12 months of full control? If you've been in power for 12 months with a Republican-controlled Congress, whose fault is it that unemployment is at an all-time high? Whose fault is it that the economy is in shambles? Prices are skyrocketing. People can't afford their healthcare bills. People can't buy homes. People can't buy their prescription drugs. Whose fault is all of that? And the message from Republicans to you is that it's fine. The economy is the greatest it's ever been.
Look at the trend. This shows jobs by month all year, and you can see how bumpy the ride has gotten recently. In fact, we now know that out of three out of the last 6 months, the economy has lost jobs, right? We just mentioned October, but also lost jobs in August, lost jobs in June. So 3 out of 6 months were negative. That's after going about 4 years without any months of negative job growth. And in fact, the economy is now on track for its worst year of job growth since 2020 during COVID.
The economy is now on track for its worst year of job growth since 2020. That means fewer and fewer new jobs are being created. Since 2020, during COVID, the pandemic that shut down the entire country, that's the comparison that we're making here. But sure, A+++, greatest economy ever. Trump and Republicans are going to keep lying to you. They're going to keep patting themselves on the back, giving themselves little gold stars, and then laugh at you because they don't know what it's like to not be able to afford groceries, or to be too scared to go to the doctor because you don't know if you'll be able to afford the bill after, or to cut back on Christmas presents because toys are more expensive than they have ever been. They're not going to make any meaningful change. They're not going to help you. Republicans will just keep telling you that the problem doesn't exist and hope that you believe them.
What many people want to smear as radical, I believe, is common sense. I believe in the wealthiest nation in the history of the world, when a person gets sick, they shouldn't go bankrupt. Common sense. I believe that a minimum wage should cover the minimum cost to live. Common sense. I believe that homes are not slot machines for investors and big banks to extort working families out of every last dollar that they have. Your government should fight to help you keep an affordable roof over your head. And finally, I believe that we must get big money out of politics and make clear that our country is not for sale.
But there are better options out there. This is just one example of a Democrat that will fight for you. There are people getting into politics every day who actually want to help you, who are ready to focus on families and jobs and affordability and building an economy that works for all of us, not Trump and his billionaire friends and massive corporations. Any politician who grades themselves an A+++ while you're drowning in bills, who blames immigrants for a crumbling economy that they themselves caused, who claims everything is great while unemployment skyrockets. Those are not politicians that are on your side. And I know, sometimes it feels like no one is on your side. But like we just saw, Democrats are ready to fight for you. They have real ideas and real policies that will cut the cost of your prescription drugs, that will make your healthcare more affordable, that will make it easier to rent or buy a home, that will lower prices at the grocery store. There is a better option than Trump and Republicans. So to recap, the Trump administration is lying and living in this fantasy world where the economy is perfect and all of our problems are either fake or someone else's fault. Meanwhile, in the actual real world, people are struggling more than they have in years. Americans know the country's on the wrong track, and they're dissatisfied with where we are. And how could they not be? I mean, unemployment is skyrocketing. There are no jobs being created. You can't afford to go to the doctor. You can't get groceries without it smacking you in the face how expensive everything has gotten. But Republicans, they're gonna continue to tell you that the economy is an A+++. They're gonna keep blaming Biden or immigrants or anyone except for themselves. The question is if you're gonna believe them or if you're going to believe what you're actually experiencing. You know what your bank account looks like. You know what your grocery bill costs. You know whether you're better off now than you were a year ago. But there are real leaders and Democrats who are ready to fight for policies that will actually help you. But it starts with you refusing to be lied to by an administration that will laugh as they talk about the economy. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, drop in the comments what you would grade the economy, and I'll see you next time.